arrived in Ellös in Hallberg Rassy's yard, and there's a beautiful 50-foot Hallberg Rassy here. She's got no mast, she's all prepped for the show. It's a 1-year-old owner boat, and Hallberg Rassy are looking after her for the winter. They've sanded the decks, prepped the decks, given her a show clean, and we have to take her over. It's very windy. We've got lots of prep to do. We've got some protection material to put on all the surfaces. We've got some safety gear, some cooking gear to stow and sort out. We're leaving in the morning. Beautiful. It's a sunny day, which is nice, but windy and chilly. A nice boat and very comfortable. We're going to be motoring all the way, 700 miles. But it should be interesting, and it's a privilege to take the boat like this. Just about to leave Ellös. We've done all the checks, set up the boat, done all the protection, stowed all the gear, just filled up with diesel. We've got over 900 litres on board, and it's snowing. Only about a half an inch of wet, slushy snow, but Sweden had to give us a little bit of snow before we left, so it's snowing. We've done everything. The guys at Hallberg Rassy have been fantastic helping us get the boat set up, and just the first light here's 8:30 in the morning now, and we're about to slip our lines. So I just left the harbour, and we're all just getting acquainted with the controls, spinning the boat round, turning it round, and using the bow and stern thruster. We've got twin rudders on this boat, so it's a little bit different to drive with no water flow over the rudders unless you're moving. So we've got bow and stern thrusters. It's always good to have a little play with them. Everybody get used to them before we go. How's the snow this morning, Susan?
Cold, very, very cold.
How's your fingers?
Yeah, they're pretty cold too.
Chilly out there. We're just approaching the locks at Kiel. We've done about 250 miles, but we've been in our nice enclosure, so we had to step out this morning, and the balaclava was definitely needed. So we're just approaching the lock. We're going to berth up and pay and see if we can lock in. It's a nice timing. It's 9:30 in the morning, so we can travel during the light, which is good. So we better go and lock in, get my balaclava on again. It's freezing. Well, that was a bit of a shock. We got hold of the lock keeper at the Kiel Canal to gain access to the canal, and he said that the canal's closed. At the other end, Brunsbüttel end, the lock is closed. Apparently there's been an oil spill there just before Christmas, and 30,000 litres of oil has spilled. I believe it's a pipe that's been leaking, and there's a big cleanup going on. He doesn't know when it's going to reopen again. He intimated it might be the 3rd of January, but he really wasn't sure. He said we could get in, but we can only go as far as Rendsburg, which is about a third of the way down, and we're going to have to stop there. Spend a little bit of time waiting in Rendsburg and hoping that the canal opens again on the 3rd. television. Yeah. Have you got a television? Oh. There's the television. So it's a lovely sunny day on the Kiel Canal. We're underway again. The canal opened at lunchtime today, the 3rd of January. We were stopped for a few days over New Year, which was nice but came a little frustrating. It was nice cruising down the canal today. As we came out of the little tributary from Brunsbüttel, there were 5 ships that obviously locked in the morning. Now the canal's open and we're following them. We've got a speed limit of 8 knots on the Kiel Canal. We're doing 7.5 knots, 2,300 revs. And we can sit in this beautiful spray hood and cockpit tent, and we can helm with the autopilot, so it's nice and warm. Only moved 1 degree. There you go. Yeah, it's very, very good to be underway again.
Making a stew for later on tonight. It's part of a cunning plan really, because it's getting really cold outside and I can come in here and cook and it'll be warm. But a nice big pot of stew with some veg we picked up when we left Sweden. Hopefully it'll be quite tasty when we're going along the Elbe a little later.
We're in the lock. It's busy now, it's open. There's 5 ships in here and luckily a nice low Dutch barge we could tie up against. This is the last lock of the day for us in daylight, and I think we'll get out into the Elbe. Quite exciting. Woo. We're out. We're just on the Brunsbüttel lock. There's some big ships in there. That was a bit of fun. It's just as it's got dark and we're onto the Elbe. Unfortunately the tide's going to turn against us, but we're going to make it down to Cuxhaven hopefully. Let's go. We're in Cuxhaven. Been here for 36 hours, a bit of sanctuary before some more low pressure weather came through. We had gusts of 35 knots whilst we've been here. Just looking at the weather this morning, we've got a small patch or small weather window to get round into the inland seas, but it's all low pressures this time of year, and you just have to pick your moment in between them. Well, this is proving to be a very difficult delivery in January. The weather systems just keep rolling in. We'll get 35 knots of wind and it'll sustain for 6 hours, which built the seas quite dramatically. We went in and tucked underneath the island and turned down seas and put the engine just in tick over and flattened out the boat. It'd be nice just to get round the headland and into the channel, down into the sanctuary of the Dutch canals would be really nice.
Well, we are in the Netherlands. Hurrah! In the channel that leads between the islands down to Lake IJssel and the inland waterways, and I'm very, very happy. It's been quite an amazing 36 hours of big seas and rolling waves, and so I'm very, very happy.
that we are no longer at sea. But I can't relax yet because it's quite a complicated channel and there are flashing channel markers everywhere and it would be very easy to go the wrong way. So I better concentrate.
Good morning. We are on the River Isel. We left yesterday at Harlingen and locked into Lake Isel and had a long motor. It's a big lake across Lake Isel. We had 30 knots of wind, but it was just a small chop, about half a metre of sea, which we bounced over, following the routes across through the wind, or past the wind farms. And yeah, we got to the river about 2:30 in the afternoon, which was lovely. There's quite a current against us actually. We're making 5.5 knots, and we had a lovely cruise down the canal. Down the river, some beautiful places we go through. There was one bridge that had to open for us, was slightly too high. The rest of them we can get underneath. It's a mast down route, and we have to keep within the centre of the canal. We've got 5.5 metres of water and we draw 2.5. We got down to 4 at the worst, so it's good, and it's nice, easy motoring. It's such a comfortable boat to live on, so cooking's really easy, eating's really easy, and it's very nice. Well, we're nearly there. We've got 60 nautical miles to do. We're on the German part of the Rhine. We've had to stop. The German authorities do not accept the licenses that we have had on the inland waterways license, and they're accepted in the Netherlands but not in Germany. In Germany, if you have a boat that's over 15 meters, you have to have a pilot on board or hold yourself a special license for the German Rhine. We are 15.23 meters, so 230 millimeters over the 15 meters, and they wouldn't accept that, and they insisted we've got a pilot. So we found a local pilot. We've stopped here in this boatyard to pick him up. It's been very good actually. We've got some fuel from him and had a lift to the shops to get some more food, and we're setting off again at 6 o'clock in the morning to the last 60 nautical miles to Düsseldorf. We've got an evening in this sort of boatyard. Interesting. So we arrived in Düsseldorf Marina in the pelting down rain and pitch black, which was very exciting, and got into this quite tight marina. But the boat's amazing with bow and stern thrusters. You just feel so confident taking her into any situation, even with the wind blowing, and you can control her. Amazing. So yeah, had a good night's sleep, and then we're up this morning and cleaning and tidying up, packing some gear, and we've got a day here today, so we're going to have to tidy up and pack our gear and hopefully have a mooch around the town or the city and have a look around Düsseldorf. The boat's ready to go. We've got an appointment with Big Willie at 12 o'clock tomorrow. It's only a half an hour steam downstream with the current, so we'll be doing 10 knots, and then hopefully put her safely in the cradle, and we'll be away. Well, that was successful. We eventually got into Big Willie and lifted up in the slings, which was very exciting. The current runs so hard. It's great. They drop a buoy out, which you pick up on the bow, and then they pull you in and you steer the boat in and into the slings, and then slowly trundle up the side of the river. Really great. Dropped into a cradle and then onto a lorry, and off she goes into the Hall. It's been a long delivery at 750 miles and challenging, but it's only halfway. Because after the show finishes on the 29th and she comes out the Hall, we'll be back again to take her back to Ellös. Another delivery successful. We can fly home now.